Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial said correctly, too. USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting 2 hours from Missouri. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com. Converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. If you'd like to call us, I've got the call screen in front of me, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota at Genesis. And with us today is Joey from Michigan. Hey, welcome, Joey.
Good morning, Vinny. How are you? I know.
You know what you sound like? You know what? I know. Ricky says that, too. By the way, I saw Rick Miller and Matt Stein over the weekend. It was a great adventure. Just one small problem with the whole thing. We were looking all over for Joey in Kansas City, and you had axle problems, right? Couldn't make it?
What a nightmare. Can you imagine having a problem getting a part? It takes 8 to 10 days while we still have an economy? That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, and on top of it, even if you wanted to save money, I mean, and had this happened on the road, it could have been a $4,000 or $5,000 mishap.
I was talking with Miles yesterday, and we were talking about the supply chain, and we were talking about how it's really, really messed up now. And he needed a muffler for his Mercedes. Now, his Mercedes is not an oddball Mercedes. It's one that, you know, has a standard muffler. And it took him between 6 and 8 weeks to get this muffler.
It's like a 208 car on top of it.
And what was that?
I thought it was like a 208 car, that new of a car.
Yeah. It's he has a Mercedes E-Class, which is, you know, midsize. And he has a V6 in it, like I think a 3.2 liter V6, something like that. And, you know, it's the same engine that goes in an ML320 Mercedes. Not that it's not odd. I mean, it's a nice car, no question about it. I have a 2000 model of a very similar Mercedes that I bought for very little money. I mean, a couple $1,000s. And it's not that they're very expensive. It's just a great car, but it gets great mileage and that kind of thing. But parts, man. And it's not just Mercedes. It's parts for lots of different cars. I'm still waiting for the brake light switch for our ML320. I got one. First one wore out. Got another brake light switch. That's the switch that turns on the brake lights when you step on the brake pedal. I should have it, you know, in a couple more days. Looks like it's going to take about a week to get it. And the problem is the new ones that are aftermarket, they build with smaller contacts. The switches overheat and they melt the plastic and the switches fail. So you have to get another one. I mean, why can't we just make it right the first time? No, we can't seem to do that because the Chinese understand how to make things thinner, lighter, use less plastic, and, well, you know, we'll just replace them more often. And I object to that because what if a person were not handy, Joey, and didn't know how to find the problem. First of all, that it was a brake light switch that might cost $15 if you get one at a reasonable price, or $35 if you get one at the local chain auto store. And then you have to pay somebody to put it in. What would that cost? Oh, they probably say, gee, that's a big job. You got to get under there and get on the floor. And boy, it might take 5 minutes, but we bill 1 hour minimum, so it'd be $100. Having things fixed today is just a nuisance. And then finding someone who can actually fix it right the first time, that's a challenge. What do you think?
I think everything you just said happened to me 2 or 3 different times. I ever share the story when a front wheel bearing went out in my truck, and the guy puts the wheel bearing on, and the kid putting it on, he's kind of new. He puts it on, new rotor, new caliper, new wheel bearing, because everything got ruined. And, of course, new brake pads. And, you know, normally when you buy brake pads, there's 2 in a box, 1 for each side. So he puts the brakes on, he puts the whole one side on. Who would imagine why you had the tire off the other side, you wouldn't have changed the pads? I didn't pay attention. Why? Because I'm not a trained professional. A week later, the other brake pad falls out, locks up, wrecks the rotor, wrecks the caliper. I get a $75 tow bill. Now I have to leave my truck for 3 days. That was my learning curve. After that, you ask many, many questions. You stand there, you watch. If they won't let you stand there, you say, well, then I can't come here. That way you're watching. Granted, that was a young guy. He was 22 years old. He probably will never make that mistake. But again, he made that mistake on my dime. That cost me the money. You know, it makes you just not want to go anywhere and spend money anywhere.
I'm getting to the point where I don't want to go anywhere, period. Well, I'm serious, because Mike Parsons and I were in the truck, and we decided to get a sandwich in Kansas City, sub sandwich, and we went to the Chinese factory outlet where you can buy, if you want to eat on the cheap, I'm not saying this is good food, but if you want to eat on the cheap, you can go to the Chinese factory outlet, and they have a refrigerated case in the deli section. They have these pre-manufactured submarine sandwiches. So we got a chicken, turkey kind of a sub, lettuce and that kind of thing. And so we split it, and we're in the car eating it. And next to us, there was a truck and a young husband, young wife, and they were really busy looking down at their phones, sitting side by side. They reach on their phones, doing something. And a while later, then they leave. And what we're seeing is more and more people are distracted. They're looking down. They're not looking through the windshield. They're looking down and glancing up once in a while to see what's ahead of them as they're traveling. I don't like it. I just don't like being surrounded by people who are distracted. And Joey, let me just bring this point to the classroom. So in the seminar in Kansas City, I asked everyone in the class, I said, how many of you have cell phones? And everybody, it seemed like everybody had raised. I said, come on, put your hands up. I just want to see. I just want to see. And it looked like all the hands went up. And I said, well, so who doesn't have a cell phone? And one guy's hand went up because I thought there might be just one. And I said, okay, so there's 2 of us who don't have cell phones, that man and me. Then we talked about the cancer. We talked about Johnny Cochran. We talked about Ted Kennedy having brain cancer. We talked about women with breast cancer and putting their cell phones, in their left, in their bra on the left side. And then we talked about all these cancers. And we talked about the microwave radiation, how it's the same thing as the microwave oven. And we talked about how, your cell phone is like a microwave oven, but on low rather than on high power. And I said, okay, now if you believe that, or just part of it, how many of you would dump your cell phone? Let me ask that a different way. How many of you would dump your cell phone? Let me ask that a different way. Nobody. Nobody. So we are, I guess that's consumerism. We are addicted to buying things that, do we really need them? One guy said he had to have it for his job. Okay, well, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. And it looks like employers now are requiring you to have your cell phones and be within grabbing distance by the cell phone 24 hours a day. Why are we putting up with that? Why are we doing that? Why are we willing to go into a restaurant where the electromagnetic radiation is so strong? Because everyone has a cell phone. I mean, a small room with 40, 50, 100 cell phones? It's insanity. But Joey, I don't think it's going to stop. I don't think people are in tune enough to understand. Even though, I heard that cell phones can cause cancer, but it won't cause me to have cancer. Even though every single family I know, there's no family that is out there that doesn't have cancer. Even though all this is happening.
Cancer, heart, or sugar diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody will question those antennas that are popping up like leprosy all over the countryside, all over, and the amount of dead trees. And the thing you'll notice the most, you see an antenna, you see dead trees. You see dead trees, you see an antenna. Everybody should pay attention to that. Become alert. Pay attention. Go ahead.
Joey, I was traveling with Mike Parsons, and we were talking with this man, and he has some health problems. And I asked the man if, the guy's about my age. I said, do you think there's a relationship between that cell tower right across the road from you and when you got sick, had all these heart problems? And he didn't seem to think so. But then he said he wanted to get in on that. He wanted to get in on that and get that cell tower on his property.
Oh, that's good.
And so I asked him about it. I said, how's it work? He said, well, you get $500 per month for 5 years. And then you get like a cost of living increase. And then when the tower is obsolete, you have to take it down. Now, how much would that cost to take down a 300-foot tower? Or a 200-foot tower? What would that cost? Wow. $20,000? $10,000? $5,000? I don't know. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Attention, all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is formulated with a natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol. It's so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Call now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Call 1-800-853-1203. That's 1-800-853-1203. 800-853-1203.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Nussbaum with the Anthem Foundation. Premature birth is the leading cause of death of babies and disabilities for children. That's why we support the March of Dimes to help mothers have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment and outreach to help moms during their pregnancy and give every baby a healthy start in life. Learn how you can help at marchofdimes.org.
From Michigan's broadcasting with us today, USAPrepares.com instructor. Joey knows a lot of things about a lot of things. And he pays attention to what's happening. And that's what we're talking about today. Joey, last night, off air, you and I were talking about what we see in parking lots. Why don't you share that with our class, please?
The fluids under the car, the giant oil stains under the car. And what would that mean? That would mean people don't have the money to maintain the car. People don't have the money to upgrade the car. And more people are going to more and more dollar stores. And it's funny, when the show started, listening to that little bit of news, old Benny boy, Bernanke, he says, we are winning the race with economic outcome in this country versus Europe. Wow, that's great that we're winning, because what's Europe look like? A wasteland? I mean, this is a wasteland. You were sharing yesterday, traveling back from the expo, all the empty buildings. Everywhere you go, there's empty buildings. There's only a good... What would you use empty buildings for? What do we say you could use an empty building for? It'd be a great warehouse for what kind of stuff?
People.
Who would want to
warehouse people?
Who would want to warehouse people? Would that be back to that word distraction? You know, distraction is the key to the whole show. As long as you keep people distracted, they don't think, because they're thinking about the new phone, the new computer, the new car. Hey, what's that place? Burger King came out with a new burger. What's that other cesspool? Mickey D's. They came out with a new, improved burger. Wow, how do you improve garbage? I mean, realistically, new and improved, what does that mean? You know, it's just, I'm tired of being distracted. I'm not simple. I have a little bit of sense left. I understand. I mean, everything these hypocrites running the show keep telling us, oh, it's wonderful. Oh, it's marvelous. Oh, my. Oh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. Come on. When do we wake up from this bad dream? I mean, how many people do you know that use a microwave? I've got a cousin. I think the world of him. It's an older person. He cooks everything in the microwave. I present him every scenario I can find. He tells me I'm nuts. I says, I understand. Would you like my old microwave? Because, you know, the only thing a microwave is good for that I found You put your driver's license in there, but you have to be careful not to overcook it because it'll burn a hole in it. It's the only thing the microwave's good for.
Joey, I can't disagree with you. I really can't. The police are using them to blast us. They're using them. The cell towers are killing us. And this man that I met was really kind of bummed out that he wasn't able to get that tower on his property. And it's that old story, that we will trade our health for money. We will trade our health for money. And then when we get sick, we go, let's try to buy that health back with the money that we got from trading our health. We overlook how important good health is until we don't have it. And then it's, uh-oh. And then, but some people, when they get like cancer, they'll just give up. They'll say, I was talking to a guy over the weekend who had cancer. And I said, there's some things that you can do. And he goes, I trust my doctor. And he's like mad at me. So I guess you do. That's, good. I'm glad you trust him. But, he's going to die in 6 months, but he trusts his doctor. If I knew that, I'd be.
Remember that phrase, when you're in the argument with a dummy, who's the dummy?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Well, yeah, that argument it actually wasn't an argument. But it lasted a very short time because I realized that I'm just wasting my breath and my time and I'm annoying him. So, within 10 seconds, I said, no, I understand. And I gave up. And that's one of the problems because there's so many people who just are not paying attention. And it gets back to sports. It gets back to guys running around chasing a ball with short pants on and paying $35 a ticket and $6 a drink and $5 for a tube steak. That'd be a hot dog. Or $6. We've lost our minds. We have lost our minds. We'll be right back.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at patriotnext.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
Patriotnecklace.com?
Patriotnecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from patriotnecklace.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
With the many stock market ups and downs over these last few weeks, many people are asking themselves, are they doing the right thing? Do they have the right financial plan in place? Here's the real question. You should be asking yourself, do you have the right financial professional in place? Well, my friend Rocky DeFrancisco, attorney and founder of the Wealth Preservation Institute, has authored a new book called Bad Advisors, How to Identify Them and How to Avoid Them. In this book, you'll identify financial planners who are forbidden by their broker-dealers from giving you the best advice. You'll understand why most CPAs, EAs, and accountants don't even provide proactive advice to help you save for your taxes. And of course, you're going to identify insurance agents who are forbidden from selling you the best products available in the marketplace. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. It's only your retirement dollars. And for a limited time, we're going to give you the free ebook version of this book, Bad Advisors, How to Identify Them, How to Avoid Them. Call right now, 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take control of your financial lives today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tone to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
So Joey, I was chatting with one of our instructors, and we were talking about how's this happen, and it seems like the way it happens is if you're in a neighborhood or you go to work and you talk with one of your work peers. So did you see this game last night? No, I didn't see it. Did you hear about Joey joined the golf course? No, I didn't know. So you can't not know these things. So I better watch the game so I can, keep up with, my peers. And I guess I better join the golf course, and I guess I better watch guys running around, the ball field with short pants and pay attention to those numbers on their back and that kind of thing. So I can, kind of fit in. And I think that's how it happens. I think it's just, it's like going with the herd, and going with the herd isn't working, because going with the herd means more debt, more stress, more cancer. And if you look at going with the herd, how's that working for families? How well are our families holding together? I don't think they are. I think our families are falling apart. Our nation is crumbling one family at a time. Our children are rebelling. Our children aren't paying attention because they're glued to electronic gadgets. They carry them around with them. They play games on them, and it gets them nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
Well, let's think about what Miles was saying about building a community.
Yeah.
And the most important part of the community building in Europe for him were the old people that went through the hardships after the war. They know what it was to starve. They know what it was to not have an economy. They know what it was to survive. And it's interesting because you brought up the sports, and a couple of weeks ago, hiding down the highway, I see a soccer field with all these, it was a Saturday, and there's families were out there. There must have been 200 cars. There must have been 400 or 500 people. There were probably 10 or 15 little soccer games going on. They're each their own little enclave. And I had commented to some friends of mine. I stopped at a restaurant they owned, and I said, can you imagine people blowing off a Saturday for a soccer game for all these little kids? And I said, not to mention all week. Oh, I got to take little Johnny or little Susie to the soccer game because they got to learn how to play soccer because they're all going to be Pele superstars. And this older woman was sitting there, and she's a German woman. She was 7 years old when the Russians were coming back through Germany, creating havoc for those people. She shared all kinds of misery prior conversations. And then she came unglued, and she told me how ignorant I was, how simple I was, because I laughed and chuckled at all these simple people devoting a Saturday playing soccer. And she shared to me how those were her grandchildren I was talking about. And I said, look, I didn't know you had grandkids. All I know is you, of all people, came from a hardship. You came from a troubled time. You know what it was to go without food. Wouldn't you find it more appealing to teach your children how to plant a garden, how to think outside of the box, maybe even how to rake a yard, possibly rake the neighbor's yard to learn how to create an income? Instead, all these people are interested in it. And I guess you're back to that story, Vinny, where you say, well, we got to talk at work at the water cooler. Hey, did you see my boy? Yeah, he kicked the ball. Oh, good. Think about how football is being phased out and soccer is being phased in. You know, because now that we're going to become a metropolitan globe, we don't need football anymore. We'll just play soccer. You know, it's back to that word we started out with, distraction. Create the distraction. You can fermentate the illusion. What is the illusion? Volkswagen? Volkswagen companies are criminal because they altered some data. The government's altering data every single minute of every day. Think about Volkswagen. Think about Mercedes. Think about diesel vehicles. All over Europe, 80% of the vehicles or more are diesel. And the diesel vehicles get enormous, incredible fuel mileage compared to the gasoline. You know, you've had older Mercedes. I have old Mercedes, 1981s, 82s. Those cars, 80 miles an hour, will still get 29 to 30 miles to the gallon.
That's exactly right.
And it doesn't say Prius on it. It doesn't require a religious experience to have the car fixed. You know, it's a basic, simple diesel motor, non-electronic. You know, just like you were sharing, your son went to that expo and they want to now recycle. That's the phrase, recycle, not destroy tractors. Let's recycle them because they're bad for the environment. Let's get let's get modernization, let's get all this new modern stuff that, again, you need like a heart surgeon to repair the tractor. You know, I have a skidster with that computer plug on it, worst vehicle I've ever owned. Least amount of hours, newest machine I ever bought. It's constantly in a state of repair because it's an electronic, it's damp, it doesn't run. You know, that was always the problem. What was that car? Saabs. No, Jaguars. Jaguars had the worst electrical of all the cars, constantly being fixed. Can you talk about a Land Rover Discovery? A diesel Discovery gets 28 to 31 miles to the gallon. The gasoline ones here get somewhere between 15 and 17. But we're all about fuel economy. We're all about saving. You know, I remember for probably the last 7 or 8 years, every year when Volkswagen, BMW, or Mercedes was coming out with a new premier diesel vehicle, the EPA changed by just a milliparts. You'd read that in the Wall Street Journal. You read it in different papers. Again, was it a lie? At this point, it's all a lie. Why would you not want to have a diesel vehicle? You know, they're advertising certain diesels, Mercedes, I don't know about Volkswagen, are cleaner than the current gas cars. But Europe is diesel, we're gasoline. If we were to have an economic hardship, any kind of disaster in this country, what would you think the vehicle or the fuel of choice is going to be in this country? Would you think it would be diesel, or would you think it would be gasoline? Because I'm pretty sure 100% of all military vehicles are diesel, and I'm pretty sure they don't have anything that runs on gasoline. You have to think about that. Let's think outside of the box. Let's pretend we're not going for a Happy Meal. Let's pretend we're not going to see Johnny and Susie go play soccer, football, basketball, any of the above. Let's pretend we're adults. Let's pretend we're real people. And let's pretend we're going to see outside of the box today. This is going to be our assignment. The rest of the week, every time you look at something, stop, blink your eyes, and pretend you're stepping outside of a four-sided fictitious box. And then look in all four directions and see the scenery change. Be fascinated. You're thinking something you haven't thought in a long time. Let's pretend we don't watch as much television. And let's not pretend not to watch any Dancing with the Stars, all this ignorance. Let's not watch any of that. Let's see what happens. Even the news is repetitive, fictitious, ignorant, simple, back and forth, back and forth. How many times can you hear the same people argue about it? You've got one guy that wants to share all your money, who wants to take all the money and give it to those that don't have. I think that word was called socialism by Bernard. And then we have Hillary the Whole. She's a special person, all in her own right. Just I'm not quite sure how special she is. And then you have the seven dwarfs all running on the other team. Is there anybody out there, if there's just one person out there that thinks outside of the box? How do you answer that question? I mean, I just said a mouthful, and it'll take the rest of the show to start digesting.
You know, here's how I sort of answer that. I was talking with a guy over the weekend. I met this guy at an event, and he told me he was a certified financial planner. And I was thinking about all these people. He was telling me how many thousands of them there are in his company, thousands of these guys. And I said, so certified financial planner. I said, so let me ask you this. So you buy securities and what's the plan? He said, diversification. I said, okay. I think I understand what that means. So you buy some securities and let's say we have 3 different securities. One of them does really, really well. One of them is kind of in the middle and one of them is a dog and, actually losing its money. So this diversification is kind of going to put us in the middle and we're going to be average, right? He said, that's the point. Got to be, that's what we want to do. And I said, okay, so the plan is to be average.
I know that don't work for you. That don't work for me. You don't even have to try. You don't even have to wake up to be average.
Mike Parsons is watching me do this Columbo with this guy, right? I'm Columbo, and I'm really confused, and I'm trying to understand how it's good to be average. Okay, I would. No matter what I've done, I've tried to do better than average at everything. Whether it's hammering a nail, sawing a board, moving a bale of hay, it doesn't matter. I don't want to. I don't want to keep up with the average. I want to do a better job, and that's who we are here at USA Prepares. Each one of us, every one of our class, every one of our instructors. Nobody wants to be average. We all want to be the best we can be. Well, Mike Parsons was standing next to me. It's like, easy, Vinny, easy. don't beat this guy up. By being Columbo. Don't, easy. Don't. So we walked away. So Mike Parsons kind of rescued me and actually rescued this guy from having me explain that being average is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Joey and I will be right back. Joey, let's talk about propane when we come back. I've got some thoughts on it, and we can share your thoughts. And so what about propane as a fuel? Yeah, we'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with the medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Class, Joey's with us, and if you'd like to call in, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. I've got the call screen. Joey, we're going to talk about propane for just a minute, but so I went to Craigslist and I looked up propane, okay, propane tank. And here's a guy who has a garage sale. And what's in the garage sale? Boxes of books, a sewing machine, a vacuum, a chainsaw, tools to repair cars. Let's see what else. Fire extinguishers. Just to name a few things, okay? Dishes, Corelle dishes. So, you know, they could be used for centuries, maybe. What I'm saying is, people are selling pocket knives. People are selling things that I would never sell. I would never sell a pocket knife. I would never sell a chainsaw. Tents. This guy's got large tents, medium tents, small tents. He's selling these things, and I would think that these are preparedness and survival items. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get why people sell things.
You'd have
I really
to
don't.
ask the question, Vince. Does he need the money more than he needed the security? Did you ever wonder if he didn't buy that stuff for a bad day? And now that lustrous economy that's growing out of control that all these subhumans are promoting, did you ever wonder that his economy isn't so growing? And, you know, just as when he bought it, he's hoping somebody else will buy it so he can fit for the next day, pay the next bill, because that's just kind of like what happened in Russia when you think about it. Mm-hmm. When they were starving the people. We just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. Well, Joey, I'm looking at a Singer sewing machine with a cabinet, 4 drawers, a basic, heavy duty, a home model, but it looks like a really good, basic zigzag sewing machine. And I'm thinking that the price is going to be $50. The price of 10 McDonald's hamburgers, right? With a beverage.
Yeah, that's not even a sloppy meal. That's just a burger and a drink.
Yeah.
Their Wonder Meals now are
10 of those.
$8. Yep.
10 of those would buy this sewing machine. And the way you and I think, we would look at this and we'd say, you know what? Going forward, if we have thread and needles, we can repair blue jeans. We can repair jackets. You could repair a $200 jacket with a $50 sewing machine.
The problem is, if you need to put a new zipper in, the zipper is going to cost more than a jacket.
Mm-hmm. So you don't throw out the zippers. If we reuse everything, we have boxes, not boxes. We have these totes where we have blue jeans that are worn out. We will reuse the cloth until the cloth is gone. We'll keep the zippers. I'll make covers for the barrels of guns, so when a gun is standing upright, a rifle, the barrel is protected with blue jean cloth that I've sewn myself, to make a sleeve. So I don't throw out blue jeans. I try to reuse them. If they've got so many holes in them, I try to find enough material to sew up a sleeve to protect the barrels so that dust doesn't go down them.
Gee, Vince, why would you save those when you could just buy a box of rags for $7 at the big box store?
Joey, you know what's really interesting? You and Mike Parsons and I think alike, and a lot of our instructors think this way. But we try to repurpose just about everything. I have to think 3, 4, 5 times before I throw something away, and that includes a tin can. Literally. we come back. Well, sure. I can crush the end of that can and use that as a pouring device to pour motor oil or fluid into a piece of machinery. Let's talk about propane when we come back. Joey's with us. I'm Vin Finelli, USAPrepares.com. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water is vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Joey from Michigan is with us. Hey, Joey, did you see the game last night?
Which one? Vince, I'd rather take a nap than watch something like that. I know you're joking with me.
Yeah, I am. You know, Joey, we were talking about propane. And so I went to Craigslist during the top of the hour news and commercial announcements, and there are plenty of 500-gallon propane tanks available for $400 to $650. The average price that I've paid for a reconditioned, painted nicely, all white tank with a really good paint, sandblasted, and painted, valves replaced that needed to be replaced, and gauge that works, and the cover. I got one at 400, one at 500, and one at 600. So my average price that I paid was $500. And the reason I bought them that way is that if I have a leak, I'll only lose, one tank at a time rather than, have 1,000 gallons leak. Well, if you own your own propane tank, you can shop for propane. You can call, multiple companies and ask them what their current price is for propane. At the at the seminar over the weekend, one man said that he paid 88 cents a gallon, which is really, really low. Joey, what's it in your neck of the woods?
99 cents. If you pre-buy now and you don't wait till November or Christmas or January when your heat goes out.
Mm-hmm. And I recommend that instead of buying it now and taking delivery later, I recommend that you buy it at the lowest price, which is usually the summer when no one's even thinking about heat. No one wants propane. That's when you buy it. You fill up your tank and you have it. And the idea is there was a propane shortage a couple of years ago. And propane went from, let's say $1.19 a gallon, maybe $1.29 to $4.99 a gallon. And there was this guy in the Marshfield, Missouri area. He bought propane from a dealer and he prepaid at $1.79. Bought 1,000 gallons. So he was owed 1,000 gallons of propane. Price spiked. It spiked and it was freezing cold. And he was running out of propane. He's waiting for this guy to deliver that he bought it from. And the guy said, hey, propane's now $4.99 a gallon. And he said, yeah, well, I already bought 1,000 gallons from you, so I'd like it. And the propane company said, well, we'll sell it to you. We'll sell you 100 gallons for $4.99 a gallon. So you come over here to the office and prepay for 100 gallons and we'll deliver it to you. He said, I already bought it. I already paid for it. I'd like it. And the propane company said, you don't understand. Propane is spiked and we can't sell it at that price. And we're not going to give you propane at the price you already paid for it. Even though you bought it, even though we owe it to you. Tough. So I got involved. And I called the propane company and I told them I would expose them if they didn't take care of this guy. Ultimately, all we got out of them was 200 gallons. 200 gallons. He was not going to budge. He was going to face the wrath of his customers who pre-bought and try to get the maximum amount of money he could. So that's 99.
Is he still in business? Because that was 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we have short memories. Now, if that ever happened to me, I would never do business with that company again. Never. Because you can't trust him. The guy took his money and defaulted. He literally breached the contract. So we can't allow these things to happen. So the only way you can prevent that is Max's law. Buy the best, pay cash, and take delivery. Okay, get the propane. And when I say buy the best, I don't really necessarily mean buy the very best. You don't have to buy a Rolls Royce or whatever the best may be, but you've got to buy good quality, pay for it, and take delivery of it. And what this guy did was he bought the equivalent of the best. He paid for it, but he didn't take delivery. So he didn't have it. So my recommendation is right now you can get a tank for $500 roughly, 500-gallon propane tank. Make sure you get it with a label. Okay, they have these metal labels on them to indicate when they were manufactured and so forth. Propane companies won't fill them without the label. Make sure you get the lid for it or the cover, that dome cover. Make sure you get that. Make sure all the valves are good. Make sure it's intact. Make sure it doesn't have leaks. Make sure the legs aren't rusted. And set it level. Plumb it. Make sure you don't have any leaks. And then have it filled. Now you've got the propane. Now what can you do with propane? Well, you can have a propane stove in your house, like we do. We have a propane stove and we have a propane, it's a drop-in. So it has 4 burners and it has bake and broil. I also bought a used propane refrigerator. I got it for $50. Nobody wanted it. Who the heck wants a propane refrigerator? Well, I do. So I can hook that up and I can run that refrigerator on propane. Where can you get a refrigerator for $50 anyway? So I have that. And if you had a small tank like one that runs a barbecue grill, you could literally get the copper pipe flexible and you could transfer from the big tank to the little tank. How about that? So a lot of things you can do with propane. And the thing is, why is propane better than natural gas? Well, the reason that propane is better, in my opinion, is because you have it. It's not someplace else being piped to you. You have it. You're in control of it. You own it. That's why I think it's better. And it lasts how long? Until it leaks out. It lasts forever until it leaks out. So you take care of the tank, you paint it, you make sure it doesn't rust, and you're good for a long, long time. What do you think, Joey?
I think it's a great idea. And I also think that if you have a bad propane tank, they make a great fuel storage tank for diesel. They're a lot better than a normal tin can tank you buy.
Yep.
You can also, with that propane, you can run a small gas motor on it. You can hook it up to a generator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like you said, it's the best part of it. You own it. The only problem with that is, that's something you really have to factor in. You know, you may have to get mobile at some point in your life. Hey, by the way, did you ever find out what that explosion was by your house?
Joey, you and I were on the phone, and there was this boom. And I happened to be in the studio. We were just off the air, and all the monitors, I've got these 5 monitors in front of me, and they're on pedestals. And they all were shaking. The whole house, a stone house, was shaking. And I found out, a guy called me last night. Now, this is all just a possibility. I'm not saying this is fact, because I have not done the research. I haven't had the time. But there's a possibility there was a nuclear detonation about a few hundred miles from here. I talked to another instructor about this, and it's possible that that's what it was, because it wasn't the growling, groaning sound of an earthquake. And people all around here heard this. And it literally just boom. It was not a shotgun. It was longer than that, but it wasn't as long as an earthquake. And we had
some of the other people, the speed supply, heard about it.
Yeah, they heard it too. They felt it and they heard it, and that's pretty interesting. Because down the road from us, there's a farmers cooperative. And, people go in there and they buy their grains and their plumbing parts and, things that they need to just keep their farm up and running. Supplies that might fit 80% of our need, but they don't have everything. And so, but it's the place where all the farmers go and everybody knows everybody there. And so I called them and I said, you guys selling dynamite? And they kind of laughed at me. And I asked them if they heard or felt this, and they said, yeah. Now, there's a lot of activity in this particular farmers cooperative, store, and yet they heard it. I mean, there's lots of talking, and there's, a lot of people in there, and there's a lot of activity. And for them to feel that and hear that with all that activity, it was significant. It really was significant. But, so here's the question for our listeners. About 10 days ago, did any of you feel this boom? Hear it? Feel it? Where you are? Can you let us know? Vincent at usapreparedness.com. Vincent at usapreparedness.com. And it seems like the radiation level spiked in Kansas City. It was really high over the weekend. Yeah. So maybe there was a nuclear detonation.
But it could be 200 or 300 miles.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So just in case somebody else felt it, and they think it's coincidence, they should still call in. That way,
absolutely.
Because obviously nobody else hears it. Nobody else knows about it, especially all the people that help it and take care of us, and they worry about it so much.
Mm-hmm. And there was one in China, right? There was an explosion in China, took out hundreds of brand new automobiles, incinerated them.
Apparently there were 4 of them in China, according to that Jim Willey report.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Okay. And there are a number of people who have talked with us who have said they think that they were nuclear as well.
Wow. That's scary. That's very, very scary.
Mm-hmm. Now, we the villagers don't own that kind of equipment, do we? Not that I know.
We don't even know about that kind of equipment. And what you're told about it necessarily doesn't even mean that's correct.
Yeah, and if you want to think about how many lies our government is involved in, they've been lying from the very beginning. Remember the Boston Tea Party? You know, the Boston Tea Party, where we dressed up as Indians. Let's blame the Indians. We were lying back then too. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I'm the president of the largest private news and research network in the world. And I paid for this airtime because I have an important message to the American people. There's a change coming that the government isn't telling you about. This change has deep implications for life in America. From where you shop to the doctors you visit and the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. Thing is, I was right then too. A few years ago, I warned that housing prices would collapse. They did. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash. They did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all.
You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we get a lot of questions, and here are some of the answers. Our products are naturally low in salt, a quarter of many others, at $6.77 per pound dehydrated weight, or 277 calories per dollar. We're one of the least expensive in the industry. Everything is non-GMO and MSG-free. We gladly make free substitutions. Most orders ship the next business day. $99 is our everyday price at both 800-700-2184 and 30dayfoodsupply.com. Our meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and we put a high value on your privacy, and we never use high-pressure sales. Everything is packaged and shipped from our plant in Southern Oregon. Call 800-700-2184 and purchase our 30-day, 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website, 30dayfoodsupply.com, or call 800-700-2184, 30dayfoodsupply.com.
We've all heard the news stories. Another shooting, and they're getting worse. That's why Infidel Body Armor introduces Infidel Fridays, exclusive 24-hour insider deals to save you money and possibly save your life. Make it a favorite when you log on to InfidelBodyArmor.com. Then be sure to visit each and every Infidel Friday to get special insider pricing, but for 24 hours only. That's InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Joey, I was thinking about tires, and tires wear out. And when tires wear out, we know it because the tread gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And finally we say, boy, these tires are getting bald. So here's the question. I've been asking this for years. When the tires go bald, that's because the rubber has been worn out, has been worn off. And where does it go? Well, it goes, little tiny bits of nanoparticles in the rubber and the tire black get rubbed off, and it goes on the road. And then as the trucks go down the road, that rubber gets picked up and it flies through the air, and then we get to breathe it. So if we're going on the highway, we're breathing in these rubber particles from the tires in front of us. There are plenty of them. And if we're in traffic, we're breathing the pollutants from all the exhaust and the rubber particles and the diesel and all that. Well, Firestone used to make tires in the United States, and maybe they still make some of them, but in the United States, but they were bought by Bridgestone, and Bridgestone is a Japanese tire company, and they make tires in Japan. And Japan has got a lot of radiation problems, and I'm wondering how much radiation is getting into the tires over the last several years since Fukushima, the disaster in Fukushima. So how much radiation is in the rubber products of the tires that are coming to this country, that are rolling down our highways, that become airborne, that we breathe? I wonder. And a lot of people think that that's kind of a nutty thing to wonder about. I don't think so. I think that's something that we should be concerned about. And what else is in these tires that becomes airborne, that we breathe? Is there any waste? What would happen if we are breathing radioactive material from the pollution from Fukushima? We have a lot of enemies, Joey. A lot of people
How about the fish they put in a can that's coming from the water that's being polluted from Fukushima? And how do you even tell if you open a can of fish, whether it's tuna fish or whichever fish, or a frozen fish? I mean, you ever heard of something called the Pacific cod? Since when does a cod fish grow in the Pacific Ocean? I believe they called it Atlantic cod. And every restaurant that has a fish fry in this country on a Friday has Pacific cod, is usually the fish they advertise. Or something called whiting. I mean, but where does fish come from? And who's monitoring the fish?
I was at a restaurant, and it was a Chinese restaurant, a buffet. I was with Matt Stein and Mike Parsons and Dr. Richard Allen Miller and Joe Acapenti. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, Joe Acapenti was there. And so there were a bunch of us at this table at this restaurant. But that's another thing. We made an announcement in in my seminars. Hundreds of people heard it. That, hey, would you like to have dinner with us? You can. It's Dutch treat. Joey, nobody.
Wow.
Nobody. I don't know what Ricky did, but nobody wanted to have dinner with Ricky. I don't know what Matt did. Nobody wanted to have dinner with Matt Stein. I don't know what Joe Acapenti did, but nobody wanted to have dinner with him. And Mike Parsons, I don't know what he did. Nobody wanted to have dinner with him. And I don't know what I did. Nobody wanted to have dinner with us. Can you imagine having the opportunity to have dinner with Rick Miller and saying, hey, I think there's a game on tonight?
How did that work for Rick at that Psychotron seminar in Chicago? He was like the king of Sheba floating around. I mean, he had how many people taking him to lunch and dinner?
He blew everybody away. And I mean, he was the guy. He was the guy that was the most well-attended seminar. He was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. It was Dr. Richard Allen Miller. And so here's the thing I wanted to mention about this Chinese restaurant. I was really careful what I ate, but there were plenty of people saying, wow, let's have this fish, this mystery fish. It's like nobody's thinking. Nobody. How's that happen? We'll be right back.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tones to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
All whey protein powders are not created equal. Fresh liquid whey has been used for hundreds of years to restore health to the sick and youth to the aging. Why is it that no one reports these benefits from today's whey protein powders? It is because they are all processed with heat or chemicals, which damages the protein and amino acids, making them allergy-causing or toxic to your body. One World Whey's True Cool process retains all the powerful properties of fresh raw whey in a concentrated powder. My name is Stephen Hewer. As a degreed nutritionist, my goal is to make you healthy in as short a time and as affordably as possible. One World Whey is speeding up the process of helping people get healthy and is replacing the need for many other supplements, making it more affordable. To learn how One World Whey may help you with fat loss, the elimination of inflammation and pain, detoxification of heavy metals, intestinal health, brain function, and increases in strength, energy, and muscle size, call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Joey's with us, Joey in Michigan. I just got off the phone with Mike Ma. Mike Ma is in town. He's coming to the farm right now and probably will be here just after the broadcast ends. And Mike will be with us on Friday. And if you want to hear a really interesting... I still have scars from the from the shootout with Mike. Yeah, we all got them. But I don't want you to think Mike didn't get any scars. I had to shoot Mike too. So we all got shot, and it was pretty painful that day. We had our home invasion training. It was pretty intense, seriously. But Mike Ma will be, yeah.
When we have these little chats, they're encouraging, it's to encourage people to think outside of the box.
Right.
That you don't have to be a trained superhero. There's nothing spectacular about any of the instructors. They've been beat up at different times by some form of a system. And all this does is to try to help them understand all you have to do is take the first step. All the magic happens after the first step. You know, Mike has some of the best YouTube videos out there, some of the best. And some of the newer ones are even more and more unique. As he says, look, we're at the tail end of the journey. This country is not going to last at a current rate of, what do we want to call it? Falling apart from inside. It's been, you brought up that mystery fish from the Chinese buffet. Think about, a cousin of mine talked about Chinese buffets a few years ago. How can they be the only place that you can eat till you can't walk, X amount of money? Unless the food you're eating is all toxic, genetically modified, all the special enhancements like the MSG, all the chemical properties that would make you a perfect zombie individual. And, those people that go there, I've been there twice this year. 2 times. And when you're done eating there, usually you need a nap afterwards. You go into a glycemic glaze. Your head's all glazed over and you're like walking around. But people have to just step up. They have to step outside of their circle and start looking forward. Hey, let's talk briefly about, I shared with you, a friend of mine was at a gun show. Apparently he sells at a gun show, and he bought a gun from a person, and he always takes them apart, cleans them up, he looks at it. And when he took his pistol grip out to clean the lower receiver part, he noticed there was some kind of debris in that grip. And he's probably seen hundreds of these. So he's like, this don't look right. So he's grubbing around, and he goes in there, and he chisels something out of there, and it turns out to be a little cylinder-shaped, about 1 inch long and about the diameter of an ink pen. And it turns out it was a chip device. And he said he put it out on a web page. I don't know if it's a Facebook page or what, asked around. Somebody identified it. When I asked him, he said, I don't remember what it was. But I would encourage anybody that would be familiar with that kind of a device to email Vinny and throw that out there. Because you never know what kind of games somebody's playing. And that's okay if the individual did it. But if the individual sold us to him and everything's up and up, then that individual really should have made him aware of that. And that would be a unique scenario that you could buy all kinds of neat toys. And it's not even a gun. It could be a camping device. It could be a tent. It could be anything today because, RDIF chip's very important. It's all about marketing. Pay extra for that marketing. You have to pay the long dollar when you're buying. When you go into one of those farm stores, any store, what's your zip code, please? What's that for? For advertising. I said, well, do I get 20% off my ticket for your advertising? Because they're willing to pay money for advertising. They're just not willing to pay the sheeple for their advertisement. So try to encourage somebody to find out what that little homing devices about, and if that's common or if that was a one-time deal.
Joey, I was at a gun show, and a couple of years ago, and I was talking to one of my friends, and one of my friends was a vendor at this gun show. He was not selling guns; he was selling something else. And so we're talking, and this government minion walked up to him, but he was in plain clothes, and he said to my friend, so it was just the two of us chatting, and this guy kind of interrupted us. Hey, you have an auto sear for an AR-15? An auto sear is a little part that will turn an AR-15 into a machine gun, which would make it illegal without a class 3 tax. So he was asking my friend to sell him something that would be illegal. So my friend did the coolest thing. He started yelling at this guy. He said, that's illegal. We don't sell things illegal. You're trying to buy something illegal. You want to buy a machine gun from me. I don't have anything like that. And he started yelling, and he got everybody's attention. He exposed this government thug who was trying to entrap him into being arrested. How about that? How about that?
Would that surprise you?
No, you mean the entrapment? Absolutely not. I believe that there's a reward for arresting people for DUI. Now, I'm not saying that I think it's good to be involved in drinking and driving. I don't think so. But I believe that the police are on a reward system. Either they get free points that add up to a trip to Disney for their family or something, or they get cash, or they get a newer car, or they get something to encourage them.
25-pound box of chicken wings for the next ball game gathering. That way, they can encourage and reward bad behavior. You know, think about what one of those drunk driving tickets cost people. I know people, they quit drinking 8 years ago. They still don't have a license because they don't have the money to go back through. You know, apparently now, I was just talking to a guy I know, he's 40. He hasn't had a license in 8 years. He finally got a license. In order to get a license, you got to put a blow thing on your ignition. So you have to rent this from a third party, which is probably the son-in-law, the grandson of some degenerate that wrote the law. So he's guaranteed income because he's not smart enough to earn real money. So he's got to, you mandatorily have to buy this, and you have to blow in this. So another guy I know, again, these guys, when they were 25, they were all hot shots. Now they're getting older. Well, the other guy, he did his year. He had to rent this thing for, I don't know, just if it's $100, $200 a month. But then they told him, you know what, you got to go an extra 6 months. So I didn't do anything wrong. And they're trying to enforce the extra 6 months to drain the extra money out. And we go back to the parking lot with the oil stains, the fluid stains, because people don't have the money to make a repair. Or a tail lights out, they get a $300 ticket. If they had the $4, because a lot of people, they're really strapped for cash. They really are strapped. And how does this benefit everybody?
It seems that the fines for violations are really, really expensive. These guys are killing us. By the way, I got some sad news late last night. Dr. Lorraine Hurley, who has been a broadcaster here with us, USAPrepares.com instructor, died. She was on her bicycle. This is how it was reported to me. She was on her bicycle.
Oh, really?
And she was hit, and she died. I don't know any of the details. USAPrepares.com instructor, Dr. Lorraine Hurley. And Aaron Dakins called me late last night to tell me.
That's kind of like when a Jeff Brent's car loses control. And then somebody... Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
I don't know. It is scary. It really is scary. She was talking about all kinds of great ways to be healthy. I don't want to add any conjecture to this, but she graduated from the Boston School of Medicine, and she'll be certainly missed. She's been on this broadcast with us, and she's a good friend of USAPrepares.com. So I was talking with John, our engineer, at the beginning of the broadcast, and he mentioned, did I know her? And I explained that she and I broadcasted together. So it's very, very sad. And it seems that, some great people in medicine are no longer with us. Let's say it that way. So Dr. Lorraine Hurley will certainly miss you. There's so many things that are wrong. We were talking about farm tractors. We were talking about, the cash for clunkers. We're talking about how California has been spending money to get rid of these old farm tractors. And I was telling Mrs. Finelli this yesterday. There's a tractor like hers that had front weights on it. Those weights are about $100 a piece. And you could put like 600 pounds of them, 100 pounds roughly each, on the front of a tractor to weight it down, depending on what you're pulling on the back of the tractor. That's being crushed. The body's being crushed, the radiator, the battery, the alternator, the tires. It's out of control. And these are tractors that run. They run and they work. And in order to make them not work, they're drilling holes through the sides of the engines to destroy the engines. Can you imagine that? Tractors will last easily 6,000 hours. 6,000 hours. Easily. And we're wrecking them. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah. Ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com. The new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
The new frontier in human nutrition and health is that of epigenetics. Epigenetics refers to the portion of the DNA that you can influence with molecules or frequency signals. A huge key to detoxification, cellular health, and even eternal youth has to do with what kind of signals you are feeding your cells. Technology now exists to energetically encode foods or supplements so that the original food you started with is now a carrier of information that communicates health-giving signals to the cells of your body. The first food of its kind to ever receive this encoding is One World Whey. One World Whey has received high praise and generated some amazing testimonies since 2011. We now know that all the amazing testimonies we've received come primarily from the energy encoding process and secondarily to the high quality ingredients. To support your metabolism, detoxification, energy, and strength, unlike any supplement you've ever taken, call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Class, very quickly, I'd like to just say this. Woman on bicycle hit by truck dies. 56-year-old cyclist was fatally injured when she was struck by a pickup truck on Stony Brook Road in Brewster Friday, officials said. Lorraine K. Hurley of Brewster was found unconscious by police around 7:22 p.m., according to a statement from Brewster police. Hurley was taken to Cape Cod Hospital where she died. The statement said the driver, Richard W. Brown, Jr., 24, of Brewster, was driving a 2008 Chevrolet Avalanche. According to the statement, police have not determined whether to file charges. Brewster Police Chief Richard Koch said on Saturday. So I'll post this on the website. Very sad news. Dr. Lorraine Hurley has died. Mike in Tennessee, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's hard to respond other than to suggest that if you have not watched the movie Shooter, Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, in that it depicts a lot of what has been going on for a long time. And one of the tried and true techniques of the governments and these groups of eliminating people is through car accidents and suicide. And you'll see that in the past several months there have been dozens of these naturopathic doctors and people that are exposing the natural way to cure virtually everything. These people are being eliminated one by one. So this is their technique, and we are at war. They haven't publicly declared it, but they've declared war on we the people. So it's up to us to be vigilant and to respond accordingly where needed.
That's it.
Mike, I want to
That's a fabulous movie, especially when he takes the firing pin out. So the only way he could prove himself. But you're right. That's all the corruption boils down. All debris flows downhill. That's our government.
Mike, I want to thank you for coming out, spending a few days with us here at the farm and going to the expo. It was great spending time with you. I know Joey wanted to be with us, and we'll do it another time. How about that?
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much. Hey, Mike, were you there during that when that guy heckled us at the expo? Did we lose Mike?
No,
Mike, you there?
I was there. I'm here.
Okay.
Can you?
What was your reaction to that guy heckling at the seminar?
Well, I was just observing everybody in the audience, and it was clear that they were getting agitated because you were trying to point, and he was still stuck on something that was discussed about 20 minutes earlier, and the people were ready to move along. You had given him plenty of time to present whatever it was he wanted to present, but he was insistent upon basically taking over the forum, and that was an interesting thing. I don't know if the guy was an operative or just somebody who was trying to make a point that was just overzealous, but it certainly is interesting that he staged his position in the very back of the room instead of coming up front where he could be called upon quickly and respond. He wanted to be behind everybody so that when he spoke, he's speaking through the crowd so that everyone would have to hear what he said. So his focus apparently wasn't on gaining information or having a dialogue with you, it was to present to this group.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's the first time that has happened. I thought it was quite interesting, and he just did not want to quit, so we finally had to throw him out. But I thought it might erupt into something way more than just words. I thought that's where it was headed. He just would not quit. Mike, thanks so much for the call. Joey, thanks so much for being with us. And class, as Joey said, look around and look at these parking lots and see if you see these oil leaks that are more than ever before. See if you see them. And what do you think that means? Does it mean we can't fix our cars? Does it mean that we're broke? I think it does. And look at the buildings for sale, for lease, for rent, more than ever before. And look at the billboards that are for lease, more than ever before. The economy does not exhibit signs of health. Joey, thanks so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection, security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.